A New Man is one of the rare Giles-focused episodes of the series. They generally come about once a season, and this one is up there with the best. Like much of Season 4, it's a comedy-focused episode, with much of the humor coming from the main plot, Giles being transformed into a demon. Beyond that, it's about relationships that get left behind when life changes. In this case, Giles has less and less reason to hang out with the rest of the group. Buffy and Willow go to college together, and Xander's their non-university friend. But he's the librarian without a library. The big issue that occurs in this episode is him being left out of the information that Riley is with the Initiative. Given he's been trying to understand their motives and discover their members for months, this is obviously frustrating, and that emotion carries over to when Ethan Rayne comes back to town, which is always a fun time. The episode begins with a surprise birthday party, somewhat similar to the one in Season 2, where Oz is introduced to the world of the supernatural. The focus is not on Buffy's reaction, however, but Giles. First he is dismissed by Anya, who Xander reprimands, which shows how their relationship is going, briefly. Then Willow comes and reminds him how many people he doesn't know, and finally Buffy comes and introduces Riley as her boyfriend, though not as her partner in supernatural crime fighting. Buffy's final slide is not intentional, but is probably the most harmful. She refers to Professor Walsh's words of advice, effectively telling Giles she has moved on from him as an authority figure. While Giles was trying to push this narrative back in episode 1, it's clear that he wasn't ready to move on like that. He decides to meet with Walsh, sizing her up in person. This does not go well, as she is dismissive of him, and goes so far as to say Buffy has had a lack of male figures in her life. While Buffy's father leaving certainly had some impact on her, it's unfair to say that Giles did not take over that role, and loves her like a daughter. This scene is particularly sad to watch, as we've seen Giles struggle with his own issues and hers, but he always stood by Buffy. Since the focus of this episode is on beating up Giles, next his research demons turn out to be a phony, and then Willow and Xander reveal they know about the Initiative, and he's accidentally been left out. Giles then asks him to leave him alone, and an amusing scene catches Ethan Rayne in the middle of monologuing. While this would be silly coming from almost any other villain, Ethan has always shown a flair for the dramatic. Then, instead of just fighting each other, the two old friends go drinking. Ethan reveals the demonic world is getting upset about something, the Initiative, and especially 314, a mystery that will be revealed within the next few episodes. Things take a lighter turn as the drinks keep going, and Giles says he's an unemployed librarian with a tendency to get knocked on the head, which is a fair assessment. In the meantime, there are a couple of nice scenes with Buffy and Riley and Tara and Willow. Neither offers much new information, but build their respective relationships a little bit. Of course, after a night of hanging out, Ethan couldn't resist a little bit of mischief, so turns Giles into a Viaral demon, and he has to go on a buddy cop adventure with Spike, who speaks Viaral. They have a few encounters, including Giles running behind Professor Walsh and frightening her in an amusing bit, and eventually they find Ethan in a seedy hotel room. In previous episodes, he's been trying to cause chaos all throughout the town or save his own skin, so it's not entirely clear what his greater plan was here. Maybe it was just having a bit of fun, delivering a bit of chaos before the government cracked down. This is actually his last appearance on the show, and though he was in a few issues of the Season 8 comic, it's his last major role in the franchise, so maybe it doesn't really matter. Either way, Buffy is about to kill Giles in his demon form, but recognizes the eyes. Then they're able to fix the curse. They reunite, talk about having better communication, and in general fix things up. There's a side plot in the episode involving Buffy dealing with the Initiative, setting up a conflict where she doesn't listen to orders and prefers her own instincts. This has played out before in her interactions with the Watchers Council, so it's well-trodden ground, but it will come up very soon. The episode has some decent thematic work going on with Giles' role in the series, and a few nice scenes developing other relationships. It also hints about the future big bad of the series, although that's still moving relatively slowly. For a Monster of the Week episode, it's above average, although it's a shame this is Ethan's last appearance, disappeared by the US government. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and be well.